There we go. Perfect. Okay.
Excellent. All right. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Alec Goldman. I do product marketing management here at ALICE. I am joined today with Speleos from Percipia. Speleos, how are you?
Great, Alec. Pleasure to join you and be a part of this.
Excellent. So just jumping right into it, the way that we sort of just want to start off is to really give you guys true transparency of what you can expect from the webinar today. So we are laying it out in really 6 pieces. One, we're going to start off with a just overview of Percipia for those who don't really know about Percipia's wonderful technology set. 2, I will then be leading us through the ALICE overview, again, for those who may not know about ALICE and what we do from the operations perspective for the hotel industry. Then we're going to be jumping into a quick story about the guest experience and sort of the problems that exist and how we can look to improve it. And that'll lead us into the Percipia ALICE partnership, how together our technologies are looking to improve that guest experience. We'll then tell you guys about a small case study that is happening down at the Post Oak in Texas. And then lastly, we'll be then opening it up to questions and answers with you guys. You can ask any questions, either directed at the partnership collectively or to that of Percipia or ALICE. So let's take it right into the Percipia overview. Speleos?
Alec. And hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar here. I am Speleos Dravillas, the Vice President of Global Sales for Percipia. Percipia is a globally recognized as a leading provider of innovative applications to the hospitality industry and as a pioneer in the advancement of next-generation guest room technologies, including messaging platforms, feature-rich voice applications, and IP telephony. Percipia helped introduce IP telephony to the hospitality industry by building the necessary software integration for Cisco to interface with Springer Miller Hospitality Property Management System back in 2002. We did that with our Parallax software, which is the core of all of our systems and is evolving every day since. Over the years, our Parallax software has built additional integrations with Avaya, NEC, and we've increased our library of certified PMS integrations to over 28 different providers of PMS software. From there, we added the guest-facing integrations for ALICE Hospitality, as well as several point-of-sale providers, room control solutions, sales and catering, spa, golf, and dining reservation solutions. And our list of integration partners can be found on our website and is constantly being updated at the request of both our current and prospective clients. Percipia not only provides custom integration solutions for Avaya, Cisco, and NEC, but we also have designed our own purpose-built next-generation phone system, specifically for hotels, resorts, and casinos, which is called Frequency. By building our own telephony system, it has allowed us to marry both telephony and mobility into one guest-facing device. Hotels can now call the front desk, order room service, view and click TV channel listings, book a concierge recommended show, and much more, all from one application. With Parallax integrating more and more systems every year, it truly allows us to provide solutions without boundaries. To illustrate the possibilities, our core system, Parallax, communicates to all of these different technologies you see on the screen today at your property. Percipia then allows your guest to request, interact, and receive updates within a controlled software interface, or as I like to say, pane of glass, that reinforces your brand image and desired experience level. The Percipia custom design interface for each property is called Latitude. Our Latitude application is able to reside in the room on a dedicated device, or BYOD, which stands for the guests bringing their own device, available to download via Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Imagine the solution without boundaries and having all your technologies integrated into one seamless experience, an experience that is designed for you to reinforce your brand and image all at the fingertips of your guests. Now, let me turn it back to Alec to explain how ALICE is able to transform many of the operations in your property, all of which can be seamlessly presented to the guest and allow them to make requests, interact, and receive information from their excellent suite of offerings. Alec?
Thanks, Speleos. So for those who don't know about ALICE, ALICE is a hotel operations platform helping hotels manage staff work and guest communications across every department in the hotel. If a single guest request spans across perhaps 2, 3, or even 4 departments, it is with ALICE that a hotel can guarantee collaboration and efficiency in ensuring that every request, both guest and internally facing, gets done. So again, imagine perhaps a towel delivery that goes to the front desk from a guest, and they expect that that single request is to be done in about 10 minutes. How do you guys think about that getting done? Does that go from a front desk agent to the PBX, to the housekeeping supervisor, down to the room attendant? How do you ensure that across about 5 communications and maybe 2 to 3 departments, again, how is that getting done? We live in a world in which guest expectations of, across so many different industries is getting so high so quickly. Perhaps you order a package or you order, an item off of Amazon. How quickly it gets to their front door. Going about hundreds and hundreds of miles, it'll get to your front door in about 2 days. The guest expectation in your hotel is that if an item is in the same building, how quickly can you make it get there? And how does that impact your guest experience? So ALICE is a tool that really is meant to connect the departments. The idea is that by having your team collaborate to create for one excellent guest experience means that they will A, be more productive, and B, they will be able to turn that guest experience into something even greater. So this sort of leads us into a story about the guest experience. ALICE really thinking about ways to improve how staff are communicating with one another, and Percipia is thinking about how guests and staff are going to be able to communicate those guest needs to the staff to ensure that they're getting done. So you'll notice that by looking at the graph on the right, you'll see an index on the guest experience, in which you will see that hotels are actually below things such as gas stations, banks, insurance companies. In an industry in which we pride ourselves so much on providing excellent hospitality and guest satisfaction, we actually are ranked so low here. You'll see on the left, just by comparing us to newer technologies, new technology companies, you'll see companies such as Uber who are able to truly know exactly what the guest wants and fulfill those needs in such a timely fashion. Netflix knows exactly our curated movies and TV shows, perhaps better than the front desk is able to know my preferences when I stay at your hotel. Siri is able to do the same. When asking, it was able to give me those exact recommendations, perhaps faster than a concierge. Perhaps the concierge may be more perfect and perhaps more understanding of the entire city, but maybe they don't have a means of communicating that answer back to the guest in a way that he or she may want. So as hoteliers, when you really think about ways in which you can improve the guest satisfaction and experience, we're really limited in the ways that we can go about making that change. We're limited in our capacity to change location. We certainly just can't pick the hotel up and move it. We can't really change our physical assets quickly. We certainly can't change our ADRs. It's so dependent on the hotels around our given hotel. We can't change the market or competitive set, but we certainly can change the service and guest experience. And what we do know is that the guest experience is not only very important, but we know it is the driving force of increasing revenues and profits.
So, what is it that our guests desire to have a good or even great customer experience? Apart from a good night's sleep, their needs are numerous, whether they're traveling for business, leisure, or a combination of both. They want to minimize interruptions or eliminate problems standing in their way of their fulfilling their planned agenda while traveling. They may need a replacement for a crucial item that they forgot, and it's getting in the way of them getting ready in the morning. They want to understand the full range of your services that your property offers. They may even want suggestions for things to do while in your city, whether nearby attractions, local events occurring during their stay, or historic facts that they may have not known about your destination. How can we improve the guest experience from good to great for the frequent local guests and loyal guests? For all types of guests, whether business, leisure, or when they combine both, which creates a brand new category, leisure. At both Percipia and ALICE, we examine this with each of our clients during the discovery and needs phase about our process of coming up with a solution for them. Here's what we know is universally true for all travelers today. As we understand, travelers in general are similar to my wife and teenage son. Both of them do not desire to have a voice conversation for every need. The critical or complicated needs, yes, but for all other needs, they prefer and respond to me via multimedia messages. Also, both want me to reply to their messages as confirmation that I'm working on it, or I will do it, or it's already done. Travelers want to make requests the same way. They want to understand their requests are being addressed, and they want confirmation that their requests are completed. They want to be pleasantly surprised by additional options to make their stay more memorable. They want a full understanding of the options available to them so they can make a better choice of their limited time during their stay at your hotel. They want to be in control as much as they already are when they are not traveling. They want to interact with the hotel the same as they interact with their spouses, family, friends, or coworkers. The hotel looking to deliver a good to great experience, which translates into increased business, repeat visits, higher score reviews and ratings, which we just previously showed you, requires the hotel to adapt to the needs of the guest. If the hotel can achieve that level of connection with their guests, the business or leisure traveler, they have truly connected with their guests. So, as we at Percipia and ALICE, two companies that are committed to helping properties increase their guest satisfaction to good or great, we've come together. Percipia and ALICE work together hand in hand to help each property make that connection with their guests, to be that family member or friend or business colleague to their guests during that hotel stay. Percipia's guest-facing mobile interface, whether on a dedicated in-room device or a bring their own device, allows the guests to see their options and how best they make their requests to make them. This guest-facing mobile interface is what we call our Latitude application. We custom build our Latitude application to make the specific services of the hotel readily available to your guests, designed graphically to reinforce your hotel's brand and be responsive to the specific demographics of your guests. With Percipia's Latitude, there is no dialing the hotel operator to state your request, see who that operator transfers you to, and then wait for that hotel employee to answer your call, and then repeat your request a second time. Percipia's Latitude is also integrated to the specific features and functions that you currently have from ALICE Hospitality. ALICE and Percipia are able to harmoniously bring a status of that request back to the guest.
So as you'll see on the left-hand side of the screen, this is the tablet in which is hosting Percipia. You'll see that there are many various requests that a hotel is able to just have for a guest and displayed for the guest in order to make the request to that of a housekeeper, an engineer, a front desk agent, really any of the staff in the hotel. On the left-hand side with Percipia, you'll see that all of these various services and amenities can totally be customized per the hotel. And on the right-hand side, you'll see that that request that is made from the guest is put directly into the palm of the hand of the staff, who is then able to in turn perform and execute on this task. The moment in which a staff member hits accept and beginning to then work on the request and close will then generate a notification that will then show on the Percipia tablet, giving that true transparency to the guest.
The combination of Latitude mobile app along with ALICE's concierge services also provides an elevated level of connection with your guests by working together as one. Guests make their requests for dinner and play to the hotel staff or concierge. Once the hotel staff has made the arrangements, an itinerary has been created within ALICE that is then sent to the guest and is available for the guest at a later time to review again and again with Percipia's guest-facing interface. The guest always has the information on hand. Now that you have a direct, interactive, and intuitive interface to your guests, your staff can highlight current available offerings, staff picks, or other events and services to your hotel guests on a 24/7 basis. This can include descriptions, photos, and even short videos. This information can be updated as much as desired by your hotel staff and is automatically updated in the Latitude application.
Excellent. So as you'll see, it's pretty simple. There are really 4 steps of going back and forth between Percipia and ALICE, but the workflow works as such. You'll see that from the Percipia tablet, the guest is able to make a request. Perhaps it's that concierge request. If that dining reservation request goes from Percipia into ALICE, the concierge will then see that request, be notified, and begin working on the request. Then the concierge will mark the ticket in ALICE as confirmed, letting the guest know through an automatic notification on the Percipia tablet that the dining reservation is confirmed. And again, from there on the Percipia tablet, the guest will then have a custom-made itinerary showing all the various requests that were made from the tablet and then worked on in ALICE by the staff.
So the benefits, first, are time savings for hotel staff and concierge. As we've demonstrated today, Percipia and ALICE can automatically receive and route your guests' requests to the appropriate personnel. Our ability to proactively present a cohesive menu of services and immediately route the request saves your hotel staff the time it takes to receive, interpret, and delegate. With our solutions working together, we also prevent the request from failing to reach the appropriate department, and we do not require the guest to call a second time to ask for the request to be escalated. The second benefit, convenience for your guests. On the guest side, they are immediately able to make their request without having to ask if it's possible. They're able to make the request once and receive status of its progress and status when it's completed. No need to call the hotel operator repeatedly, with the guest becoming frustrated with your hotel, and your hotel's review is more and more in jeopardy in that situation. The customized hotel branding, the third benefit here. The increased connection of your staff to your guests is achieved in a guest-facing graphical experience that is synonymous with your brand. Our Latitude application designed for your property is yours to own. They will not see a similar looking guest-facing interface at any other hotel, which helps separate you from your competition and makes your hotel's connection with your guests even more memorable.
So because you'll have all of those customized amenities and services directly on the Percipia tablet, you will then be able to in turn sort of market a lot of these additional concierge services and really understand how much extra money and how much extra revenue can be provided from these concierge services to the hotel. So it's really about reporting, both from a guest perspective and a staff perspective. You truly will be able to understand what your guests want. Are they the type of guests who prefer tea times and golf? Or perhaps they want Broadway tickets? Or maybe there's a specific dining location in which all of your guests love going to. Do you know this today? But with Percipia's tablet, given that every click and every service request is ultimately tracked and performed on, you will have a true understanding of who your guests are. From the staff perspective, if I asked you today, how long does it take to deliver towels, or perhaps to clean a room, or to fix the shades that too often are broken in room 101? A lot of the answers are often that of instinct, of gut. But what if we enabled you to have the luxury to truly know how your operation is ran? How long does it take just to even say, I've got this ticket? How long does it take from the moment of acknowledging a single ticket until the point of completion? All of this is then aggregated and served up to you so that you understand not only how long certain service requests are taking, but how long perhaps each employee is taking, or the various services across each department. All of this reporting is sort of the benefits of having the Percipia ALICE partnership at your hotel.
So our case study that we wish to share with you is the Post Oak Hotel. Landry's Incorporated, the leader in dining, hospitality, and entertainment, which include the Golden Nugget NBA professional basketball team, they should be also an NBA professional team, but the Golden Nugget is one of the historic casinos that is in Las Vegas and founded Las Vegas and spread throughout the country. Sorry. But the reason why I made that mistake is they also own the Houston Rockets, the NBA professional team, and also Morton's Steakhouse, McCormick and Schmidt's, Rainforest Cafe, and many other household names in dining, hospitality, and entertainment. So they wanted to open up a luxury hotel on their campus of their corporate headquarters located in Uptown Houston, which is also close to the Houston Galleria. The goal of Mr. Tillman Fertitta, founder of Landry's, was for this hotel to be the first 5-diamond hotel in all of Houston. Every detail of this guest experience was examined on how to deliver the finest quality and most memorable experience for their guests. It is on this client project where Percipia and ALICE came together to answer the call of Landry's that every guest experience is a great experience. Percipia and ALICE, with their open APIs, work to achieve a cohesive experience between both guest-facing, powered by Percipia, and the staff-facing, powered by ALICE. The results of our combined efforts, which were aligned with Landry's commitment of delivering a great guest experience, well, the results were exactly what they asked for. The results were 5 diamonds, as the Post Oak, which opened in April, was recently rewarded and is now not only the first, but still the only 5-diamond hotel in Houston, and only the second 5-diamond in all of the great state of Texas.
So when you really think about these two companies, ALICE and Percipia, coming together, it really was due to the fact that the Post Oak was so curious and really wanted to improve that guest experience. How does a company that holds that 5-diamond expectation, how do they fulfill it every single time? Well, from the Percipia side, it's really about allowing guests to make the request exactly when they want and how they want. So many people are accustomed to using technology to sort of make a request of that of a company, whether that be of Uber or of Amazon or that of your hotel. And they don't want to just pick up the landline, wait on hold, and sort of, become a little bit frustrated just so that they could be heard. Given that that request is from the tablet, it's not just about making the request, but then it's about ensuring that it is done effectively and efficiently. That's where ALICE comes in. ALICE is then able to streamline the request just like any department to get directly to that of the person who needs to execute it. Then the person who executed by marking that task as complete, it then notifies the guest on the tablet in which they made the request. How does that happen in your hotel today? How do you ensure that the guest knows that when they say, hey, can I have my room cleaned? How do you guys update a guest letting them know that it has been done, that that work has been complete? This experience was really crafted around the idea of how do we ensure a 5-diamond experience at the Post Oak. And that's where the Percipia and ALICE teams came together to truly make something special.
And as Lisa Brown, the IT director of the Post Oak Hotel, says, they always strive to provide a 5-star service to their guests at the Post Oak. We look, as the Post Oak was saying about us, for ways to enhance the guest experience. Using both Percipia and ALICE products in the guest rooms helped them to engage the guests and anticipate their needs and continually redefine the luxury experience using the tools of ALICE and Percipia.
Thanks, Speleos. So that concludes the first 5 sections of the webinar today. If you choose to want to continue this conversation or get in touch with us, you are always able to contact our teams either at percipia.com or aliceplatform.com. All of this information will certainly be passed to you guys in the follow-up email. But what we do want to do is simply say thank you so much for your time and open it up to questions and answers regarding either just Percipia, ALICE, or about the partnership together. So for those who are on the call, there is a questions and answer section where you're able to post questions. I then will receive the pop-up, I'll read it out loud, and then myself and Speleos will answer those questions sort of as they come in. Thank you. So first question we have, are you able to message the guests directly after a request is made? Speleos, you want to start with that, and then I'll conclude on the ALICE side?
Sure. And then just to summarize, we're probably going to answer some of these questions either jointly or separately. Percipia is the interface for the guest. ALICE is the engine behind the entire staff working and satisfying the guest requests. If there's going to be interaction with the guest, I'll start answering that question. Otherwise, it'll all be Alec talking about how their engine is able to streamline transactions and all requests through the staff. So to this question, is there a confirmation about the guest receiving a message back? Absolutely. So our Latitude application would allow for push notifications to be made from ALICE's two-way messaging platform. So when ALICE, I'll let Alec take it from there, but when ALICE wants to send, as we talked about earlier, confirmation that the request has been completed, or it's done, or the task is in progress, ALICE will talk to Percipia, Percipia will talk to the guest. Alec?
Yeah, real simple. Anytime a request is made, there's always going to be the ability to have a conversation around that request. So if a guest makes a request for a dining reservation and perhaps the concierge is unable to fulfill that 8 p.m. time slot and needs to actually move it to 7:30, the concierge from ALICE is able to then type in that message saying, hey, we can't do 8, we can do 7:30, does that work? That message will then go to Percipia where they're able to then respond to ALICE. Right, so it's really a way for guests and staff to have conversation with each other. Next question. Will your integration also work on guest devices? Speleos, I think that is just purely a Percipia question. You want to take it?
Yes, thank you. So our Latitude application is available, as we've talked about, working on dedicated devices in the guest room, such as the guest phone or a tablet. But if you want the guest to be able to have this on their device, absolutely Latitude is available to be downloaded either from the iTunes store or the Google Play store. They would be able to understand everything that your resort has to offer before they check in. Once they've checked in and they're using basically the Wi-Fi of the hotel, then there's geofencing additional capabilities added for their functionality during their stay and their sign on your Wi-Fi. And we're able to actually add an additional layer for special requests like amenities that they're asking for, and the concierge is again able to message with them back and forth, as we mentioned a moment ago, even if our application is on their own personal device that they downloaded before they checked in or right after they checked into the hotel.
So there's another additional question that actually sounded very similar to this one, but are incoming guests able to make requests prior to arrival? So by having the guest downloaded, or excuse me, Percipia downloaded to your own device, you are then able to make requests ahead of actually being on property. So you're both able to make requests pre-arrival and in-house to communicate with the hotel.
Correct.
Cool. Next question. How long have your companies been working together?
Well, in actual years or in IT years? IT years, because we work very
extent.
So on a calendar, it's been a little over a year, which is when we started working with each other on the Post Oak, which opened this April. But we're working side by side on many projects together combined. In fact, 2 of those projects I know have actually attended our live webinar today. that we're working on. We thank you both for coming to see how we actually do interact with each other. And we look forward to a successful completion of your proposed projects. Alec?
Excellent. An additional question here. If we currently have ALICE, will Percipia automatically be added to our system later, or is it effective now? What will be the additional cost, if so? So the answer here is that if you have ALICE, but do not have Percipia, I would encourage you to reach out to Percipia. You'll see that the contact information is still on the shared screen. You will then be put in touch with a sales rep over at Percipia to really go into details regarding contracts and costs. So I can't give this is exactly what the cost will be. It's the exact same vice versa, where if you have Percipia but are interested in ALICE, please reach out to ALICE and we'll then put you in touch with the sales representative in your region. This way we'll be able to sort of understand the needs and then go about discussing cost, deployment, and timeline. Speleos, do you want to add anything to that?
What you said so far is excellent, but just to make it really clear, you would contract your ALICE services from ALICE, your guest-facing application and design of that application from Percipia. We will, in our contracts, make sure that we do work interoperating for you, but you would pay for our services separately and customize what services you want from each of us or both of us on an individual basis.
Excellent. So let's keep checking. Let's see if there's any other questions. Got one here. Oh, interesting. We currently use GoCon, which is a software that ALICE now owns. What would the typical timeline look like for when we phase over to ALICE? So the timeline is, we've actually started transitioning some of the thousands of hotels from Go Concierge over to ALICE. If you are interested in moving forward with ALICE even faster, I encourage you to reach out to the same email here. We will then put you in touch with your account manager, who is really responsible for tracking the success of moving from GoCon to ALICE. We have a long, long list of hotels that will be transitioning over about in the next 6 months, again, starting now. If you are interested, really because of this partnership and having ALICE and Percipia work together, we certainly will take that into consideration to try and move you up in the queue to get things moving even faster. Thank you. Okay. If there's any other questions, please feel free to post them into the Q&A, just the box in which I've been receiving all of these lovely questions. We got one more here. Can you talk about some of the hotel marketing options? For example, messages about certain specials at the hotel restaurant. Speleos?
So because of Percipia's integration, not only to ALICE, but into your point of sale and into your possible spa, restaurant, golf reservation systems, which could be different from your POS or the same, we're able to provide promotions of any current events that you have going on, any specials that you have going on, and basically if there is a dip in reserved services or open time slots for any one of your revenue generating groups at your resort, you can actually then deploy one of our promotions that we would build into the content management solution for you. And you could then push that out to all the rooms or to a specific group of the rooms of a promotion on your spa or a promotion of one of your dinner entrees for in-room dining. Whatever it is that you want to be able to promote, we can create the capability that at 4 p.m. on a Saturday afternoon, and your spa is questioning, should we close now because we have nothing between now and 9 p.m., you could literally then deploy our solution to promote new spa openings and probably sell out Saturday until 9 p.m. within about 30 minutes.
Thanks, Speleos. So I'm going to give it another couple moments here. if there's any other questions, please feel free to message. And again, if you think of something after, you can always contact either myself or Speleos. And again, we would love to continue this conversation with you guys.
So while we're waiting for that, I just want to add one more moment as I'm thinking, and I'm still trying to make sure I separate casino from NBA professional team in my mind. The other piece that we can do is if you have any type of daily announcements about what's going on at your property, you can eliminate that as well, being printed on paper and slid possibly under some of the doors and getting stuck under some of the other doors, because we can build that into the guest interface as well. And any other information that you might put into a compendium or binder, you no longer need to actually provide that in a physical binder. You could just put that into our Latitude application, which is then commingling with all the requests that you may be making, or looking at your choice of requests you could make to ALICE through our application.
So in that time period, we haven't gotten any other questions.
Guess we did a good job presenting, huh?
Love to say so. So just quickly, wanted to say thank you again for everybody who's joined. We really appreciate it, and we're also really excited to see where the Percipia ALICE partnership goes. It's really been unbelievable working with you guys over there, Speleos. The work at the Post Oak has been tremendous. To you, and again, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you guys have a great day.
Thank you.